Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. It's the Trigger, Rich Bontrager, back for another 2 p.m. with Trigger. Always giving you tips and insights to better shine on camera, shine on stage, because you are the brand. You're the voice that needs to be seen and heard. You're actually a genius in your unique space in whatever industry you are in. And this is where it all begins. But one of the questions I still get after all these years of coaching, presenting, speaking, everything that I've encountered and working with CEOs and executives, the number one question I always get over and over again is, how do you overcome the fear of public speaking? And the overcoming the fear of public speaking is actually pretty easy. Now, this comes from a guy who stutters, who hated to speak to begin with. The new fear of public speaking is, I'm afraid to speak. And that darn camera makes me even more scared. We had to overcome the fear of public speaking all the way back in school when they had you stand up and read books or stand up and give a oral presentation. And that was bad enough in front of your peers. Remember those days? You get up and you're told to present, you're told to speak, and your knees are knocking, your palms are sweaty. The girl in the front row is laughing at you because you have no idea what you're really going to say. And then you get onto a real stage as an adult and it got worse, right? And I was totally there with you. I had all those same emotions, all those same fears. Plus, I had a stutter to overcome as a speaker. So today I'm going to share a couple simple beginner steps. And the reason I'm doing this is you have to go back to the beginning. So many people are still trying to figure out how to get onto the stage, what it means to speak on the public stage. And again, now that we are virtual in so many ways with our businesses, that green light or red light in front of you is scaring you even worse, and you don't know what to do now. So, we're going to wrap this up and help you out with a couple basic beginning points of how to remove the fear from public speaking. And the first one is it is a mental change. It is a mental change. You need to embrace the fact public speaking is fun and exciting. And everyone has the same fear as you do. So when you speak on stage, relax. You're in a group full of people just like you that don't want to speak, but they want to speak. They don't know how to speak. And when you get on stage, you're actually in a comfort zone. People can identify with your feelings. And so when you do speak, and if you do get nervous, there's nothing wrong to admit, hey, this is one of my first times. I'm giving this a crack. I want to try this. I'm having fun, and get them to have fun with you. Learn to have fun as a public speaker. And one of the easiest ways to do that is smile. You cannot present poorly when you're smiling. It just your body feels it. Your body feels a good smile. You feel that you're confident on stage. People smile back at you. You automatically get people to smile back. When you're on stage, if you smile, they will smile with you. When you laugh, they will laugh with you. Even if it's a bad pun or a horrible joke, someone will join in because they feel just like you and they want to support you in that. That's step number two of beginning to overcome the fear of speaking. Identify one or two people within an audience that you can feel they're already in the boat with you. It may be family members, it may be coworkers, people that you invited intentionally. You have supporters in the room automatically. So pick them out from the crowd and give them a wink, give them a smile. One of your personal stories that you share, if it identifies with them, make sure you linger and kind of give them an extra wink as you're telling the story, and they will give you an extra pump of love and energy from the audience. And you feed off of that in your first couple times of presenting to overcome that fear. Because then you're not presenting to a blank room, you're presenting to an individual, which is my third tip for you. No matter how large the crowd, no matter how small the crowd, you're not speaking to the crowd, you're speaking to one person. It really is about you speaking to one person. Now, there may be 300 people in the room, but you're speaking to each one of those people individual. So part of my early trick, part of the way that I overcame the fear of public speaking was I turned it into a personal conversation. And most of my speeches on stage, most of my presentations are very conversational in nature. I like the idea of having a great conversation with a good friend. So to me, I'm talking to one. So I will pick out one or two people in the audience that I see that extra glimmer, that smile. Maybe they have a t-shirt that has Batman on it or something, and I can identify with them. Whatever it is, I choose to speak to one or two people. while the rest get to listen in on the conversation. It makes it so much easier when you're smiling, when you're doing those stories, and you have removed the room down to a one person conversation and you can ease and relax. Often I'll bring a drink on the stage. I don't use a podium, I don't use something because I want to remove all the barriers. But I do bring a cup of coffee or water or something because then I have a bottle, a drink, just like you would in a coffee shop to talk to your friends and sit around the table. The difference is you're wired up for sound and you're up on stage. These are all simple beginner tips to help you get more confident on what it is that you're going to present on. The fourth tip is going to be start with something that you know the topic inside and out. Back when I was younger, I ran a comic book shop and I knew comics really well. There were several big events in the world of comics that were going on back then, like the death of Superman. Batman had his back broken by Bane. Go Google it. You'll find, all right? But when I would present to students about the power of story and storytelling and better reading skills, I often use comic books as that bridge to talk to the students in the schools I would go to. So since I have a natural love for comic books and storytelling, it was very easy for me to shine on stage with a confidence of what I was going to talk about. Start off with something very simple when you begin to present. It's amazing how many times simplicity speaks louder than the deep, deep, heavy stuff of life. It also connects better with audiences if you don't go too deep. Keep it very easy, accessible for most people to understand and follow with. You can always do a follow-up. You can always do more information later, do a Q&A where they get to ask more deeper questions. But if you go with a topic you know really, really well, it will simply ooze out of you. And you will have that smile. But this is fun now. You're just talking about something you thoroughly enjoy. Believe me, to this day, as much as I coach executives and work with corporations and coach people on media presence, you get me in a room with a bunch of comic book fans, I have a great time. I'm smiling, I'm laughing, I'm having a good time. It's easy to revert back to those things. Take full advantage of those easy things. Another trick that you can use is going to be if you're really nervous about the people, pick out one or two objects throughout the room. And those are kind of markers that you can look for when you're talking to the crowd. You're actually going to look past their heads. When you're on stage, they can't tell you're looking past the heads. But pick out maybe a fire extinguisher, a painting. There's a clock on the back wall. As you speak, you can frame up and talk to that clock on that back wall. It's going to make it look like you're scouring part of the crowd. Go back over and switch sides and go over to the picture on the far side. Don't do it like a swisher going back and forth. Boom, boom, boom. Jump around for where you pick those different elements, and it will look like you're scanning the crowd and have a very easy flowing conversation. The goal here in overcoming the fear of speaking is to set yourself up for success so that it becomes natural and people have no idea that you're literally doing other tricks to get around it. When you begin any talk for the first time, know your beginning and know your end. More than anything else, write them down. Even if you have to read it word for word, your takeoff and your landing are the most important things. Your first impressions are going to be your most important thing. So make sure you know that inside and out. It will take away the fear. Stand there, read it if you have to, add some other flow to it so it sounds a little more spiced up than when you wrote down. And when you land it, do it exactly the way you wrote it on the paper because your landing is so important. It's like a gymnast. Second, the final move. They're up on the rings, they're twisting and turning, and they're doing amazing things. The crowd is going wild watching it, and they want to stick that landing. Their feet do not move. Their body does not waver. When you give us talk, when you give a speech, practice your ending that you can stick it like that, and you will have great results. This is just some of the beginning things that help you get going with understanding that there's no need to have fear of public speaking. Again, most people have the fear. Most people will cheer you on for giving it a try. And usually after the event, you'll find out it's not as painful as you thought it was going to be. One way we're going to help you here at Rock the Stage Media is that we're opening up a new event. We're going to have an open mic night. Now, this is going to be a meetup group. You'll find it on our website at rockthestagemedia.com. But we're doing a meetup to go through these beginning steps of just learning to give talks. What we're going to do every week is you'll have 10 minutes. If you want to give a talk that week, you have about 10 minutes and give a talk on whatever you want to. You'll get some feedback. You'll get some other people from the forum will help share their thoughts on it. It's going to be a safe place to practice speaking, learn professional skills, and week by week and month by month, you're going to overcome that fear. You're going to get more accomplished, and eventually, you're going to work out a powerful keynote that's going to be perfect for your industry and the space that you are in as a brand authority that you are. Again, all you have to do is go to rockstagemedia.com, go to our events, and you will see that listing up on our website. Coming up tonight, we're going to have back again for How to Rock the Stage. And tonight, we're going to have a award-winning cameraman. He's worked with different sports like NBC and ABC. He has been a professional cameraman with multiple big events. He's traveled the world. We're going to talk about events and how to produce great events. He has now got his own production company. He's taken everything he has learned from being a professional cameraman to helping run virtual hybrid events. If you're interested in this tonight, join me with Howie Zales at 7 o'clock Eastern Time for How to Rock the Stage. Get the information at our website. Go to LinkedIn, go to Facebook, and you will find other material easily to link up and join with us there. As always, if you have questions, you want to learn more skills, and maybe you need that coaching. Maybe you need some of these basic beginner points. We all started someplace. I started someplace like this. There's no shame in it. Starting and admitting, I have a fear. I want to overcome it. I'd love to help you with that. Contact me, rich@richbontrager.net. And that's going to do it for today. Come back tomorrow. We're going to talk more about some of these beginning steps of how to better grow as a public speaker. We're going to go back to the beginning to help you move forward in your speaking career. Until then, I'm the Trigger, Rich Bontrager. Keep rocking your day, and we'll see you tomorrow, 2 p.m. with the Trigger.